everyone, me again. Today I'm here with another makeup tutorial for you. I'm going to be showing you how to get this fairly minimal, summer-proof makeup look. So in case you haven't heard every single British person on social media talking about this, there's currently a bit of a heat wave in the UK and we aren't taking it well. Yes, I do currently have the fan on while I'm filming this and I'm not turning it off for the entire video, otherwise I would literally melt into a puddle. So to avoid my makeup sliding off my face during the day, I've kind of developed this little routine just to get a fairly minimal, polished look. As always, I'm only using drugstore and affordable products, that's just my thing. But before we jump into the video, I did just want to quickly mention that my blog is ready, finally. I've been working on this for a few months now, so I'm really excited to know what you all think of it. If you are interested in blogs, if you do like to read blogs, please go and have a look at mine. It's redsmakeup.blog. I was so happy to get that URL. There's a few things on there for you to read already and it's going to be updated every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 AM. But for now, here's the tutorial. Before I get started with my makeup, I am just going to spray a little bit of my usual makeup setting spray, which is from Revolution. This is the Pro Fix setting spray. This setting spray, by the way, is kind of my secret weapon to getting my makeup to stick around a little bit longer in the summer. You'll see this pop up quite a lot in the tutorial. Oh, and if you're interested, I did put some facial SPF on about half an hour ago, or whenever I started setting up to film this. This is the sunscreen I use on my face. This is the La Roche-Posay non-perfumed cream. It's the one that you can put on your eyes as well, and you actually can. This is the only facial SPF that I've ever been able to put on my eyes without getting any kind of reaction to it. Really like this one. For primer, I'm going to use the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer. This is something that I reach for quite a lot in the warmer months. But yeah, anything kind of smoothing or mattifying is going to do the trick here. And I'm really going to focus this on the centre of my face, where my makeup tends to break down. Today I'm going to put my concealer on before my foundation, and that's because I'm using a mineral powder foundation. So I just want to put all my cream products down first before I go in with that. I'm going to put the Collection Illuminating Touch Concealer under my eyes. Mine is in the shade Naked 1. I need like a dark peachy colour to kind of cancel out the blue undertones, but without lighting my under eyes up so much that you can't see my freckles anymore. And then just pushing a little bit of that over my eyelids as well. And then I'm going to take the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealers, and I'm just going to put that over areas of redness on my face, and I'm going to be mixing the shades C1 and C0.7 today. And I'm just blending it out with my Shop Missy makeup sponge. I'm spritzing it with a bit more of my setting spray first. It's funny because I normally find this concealer to be quite drying on me and a little bit too matte, but obviously in the summer that is exactly what you're looking for. So at the moment I can still see a fair bit of redness towards the end of my face, so I'm just going to have a bit more concealer in those areas, and then I'm just going to keep blending in really thin layers like this. I find that thin layers just last so much better on the skin, so if you have like a really high coverage matte formula, it's better to just use a tiny bit of that than to use a light coverage product but have to build it up quite a bit. I'm just going to take a bit more of the C1 shade on a really small brush and just use that to dot over any remaining blemishes. And then once all my concealer's down, I'm actually going to set everything with this fixing spray again. So I did say I was going to be using this a lot in this video. I just find that adding a lot of layers and then setting them as you go, it just really helps the makeup last so much longer. And then while that setting spray kind of sets into the skin, I usually like to draw in my eyebrows. So I'm just using the same eyebrow pencil I use every single time, the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe. And then I'm just using this clear mascara from Collection just to set them in place. I like to keep my eyes fairly minimal during the summer. I mean, I keep my whole makeup pretty minimal anyway in the summer, but especially the eyes. So recently I've been kind of neglecting my eyeshadow palette collection, and instead I've been reaching more for my glitter. Glitter is such an easy way to make your eyes look really pretty and really sparkly, but for me it's just considerably quicker than creating a look with eyeshadow. Sometimes I put a bit of bronzer in the crease, so I'm going to do that today. This is the bronzer I'll be using on my face later. This is the Revolution Ultra Bronze. It's £3, it's massive, it lasts forever. This is the absolute perfect shade for pale skin. I've loved this bronzer for a very long time. And then for glitter, I tend to layer 1 or 2 glitters on top of each other. Usually if they're slightly different colours or if one of them's a bit chunkier than the other, it just makes everything look so much prettier. I'm going to start out with some liquid glitter. This is the Lottie London Eye Foil. This one is called Shady. It looks really pigmented and a little bit dark in the tube, but if you just kind of dab on a little bit and then really spread it out, you just get more of like a sheer glitter finish. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So I'm just going to start by kind of dabbing it very, very sparingly. You can see I'm really not using that much. And then I'm just going to kind of spread it out a bit with my finger. So I start by pressing it out over the lid, but then I do go up into the crease as well. And then I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it just leaves this really pretty pink glitter behind. I will film close-ups at the end, obviously. And then just like the concealer, I normally like to layer it a couple of times until I get the amount of glitter that I want. By the way, this liquid glitter does set very, very, very quickly. So I would advise only working on one eye at a time. So the thing about having it quite messy like this, as opposed to just having it all very structured and just having the glitter over the eyelid, is that if you're like me and your eyes are a bit hooded and you tend to get that kind of crease mark during the day, you know, like when your eyeshadow kind of tends to dissolve around the hood of your eye. If your eyeshadow look is a bit messier, then that doesn't look so bad when your makeup starts to break down during the day. So I usually like to layer a powder glitter on top of the liquid glitter just to help everything stay in place and not move around. You can use like a little pot of glitter if you want to. That does look really, really pretty, but personally I just cannot be arsed with that on a daily basis. So I've just been looking for like pressed glitters. I do have one from Colourpop right here. This is one of their Super Shock Shadows in the shade Ladybird. This is a very, very sparkly eyeshadow. I absolutely love it. I'm going to take a very fluffy brush and just dab that in, and then just kind of chuck this all over the eye. Again, I'm mostly focusing this on the lid, but there aren't really any rules about it. Then I'm going to take the shadow just on my fingertip and I'm just going to place that right in the centre of the lid just to get a bit more focus just there. I absolutely love this Colourpop eyeshadow. I did buy a load of Colourpop stuff just before my birthday and it arrived and I opened the box and I started swatching all the products, and I loved them all so much that I ended up placing another order right after that. So as soon as that box of stuff arrives, I'll film a haul video. I just love how that glitter looks. I don't know if you can see it from here, but it's so sparkly. It just makes the eyes look really wet and reflective. If you want to add eyeliner at this point, you are more than welcome to. Personally, I just find that at this time of year, eyeliner kind of smudges everywhere, so I don't typically reach for it on an everyday basis. If I do, it will be something like this. So this is the eyeshadow crayon from NYX. This one is in the shade Yogurt, and because this is quite a light colour, it doesn't really matter if it kind of smudges away because it's not as obvious. But I'm just going to do a really rough line with this. This does come in other colours, by the way, so if you want something that's a little bit more kind of colourful, like maybe a bright blue or something, go for it. And then I'm just going to curl my eyelashes and add a few coats of the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara, and then we'll come back and finish off the eyes later. I've just got a little bit of fallout, so I'm just dabbing my sponge over the areas where I can see any glitter. And because I haven't set my base yet, it will just take it right off. And now I'm going to go in with some mineral foundation. I actually don't think I need that much of it. I think the concealer's done a really good job at evening out my base, so I'm just going to use this very, very sparingly. But the mineral foundation I'm using is from Gosh. I've actually used and repurchased this for a couple of years now. I really only use it in the summer. The rest of the time I find that it's very dry on me. I find that it really settles into fine lines, but during a heat wave or just any other time where I want my makeup to stay in place all day, this is absolutely amazing. Mine is in the shade 002. And I'm just going to start out with a really small amount and quite a dense powder brush. Swirl it in the lid. And then I'm just going to dab it where I need it, so I can see I've got a bit of redness here and just over my nose. little bit down here and on the chin, just over here, and then a bit just in the center of my forehead. Once I've kind of packed it wherever I need it, I just kind of fuse it out a bit so that it covers the rest of my face, and that just makes everything look really nice and even. And then I personally really like to set my powder foundation as well. So I normally use a baking powder or just some other kind of loose powder. This one's from Revolution. I think the shade is translucent. It's obviously rubbed off now, but I'll link it below. And I'm just using the same brush that I used for the mineral powder. So my base is looking really nice and even, but I am looking a little bit pale, so I'm just going to add a little bit of colour and a little bit of definition with this bronzer from Revolution. I'm just starting on the outer perimeters of my face, going down my neck, along the forehead, and down the nose. If you're like me and you've got freckles, do put the bronzer over where your freckles naturally hit. So for me that's like under my eyes as well. I just think that looks really pretty. Sometimes I'll skip contour just depending on how much time I have, what mood I'm in. Today I'm just going to add a little bit just to finish off the look. So I'm going to be using this from Focalure. This is the Sculpt Glow in the shade 01. You can get this on AliExpress. I'm going to do an AliExpress video quite soon, but this will be in that video as well. So I'm just dabbing the contour shade and then just going right on the cheekbones. And then for blush, I'm using the Revolution Golden Sugar palette. I have had this palette for absolutely ages. I think I've had this palette since I started my YouTube channel. Not this YouTube channel, I mean my first YouTube channel. Like, we're going back a few years at this point. So this is pretty old, but it's still going strong. I'm just going to mix mostly that shade with a little bit of this brown shade. I've really been loving this highlighter from Revolution. This is their Girl's Best Friend highlighter. I'm just going to be mixing a paler shade on the side with the darker one in the middle, and then just tapping that on the cheekbone. You can see why I love this, can't you? I mean, look how bright it is. And now we can finish off the eyes. So I'm just going to take my bronzer again, and I'm just going to put this underneath my eyes. And I'm also going to take a little bit of that Colourpop eyeshadow we were using before, the Ladybird shade. I'm just going to put that in the centre. If it gets a bit messy, just go back in with the sponge. I'm going to finish off my eyes with the AOA Skinny Mascara on my lower lashes, and then use the NYX eyeshadow crayon in Yogurt just on my waterline. Then I'm using even more fixing spray just to help all the powders mesh into my skin. And then to finish off the look, I'm just going to put on some lip gloss. I haven't really been wearing anything too high maintenance on my lips. I'd rather have a gloss or like some kind of tinted balm or something that I can just carry in my handbag and top up on the go. I have yet another nude coloured lip gloss that I'm using today. This one is from NYX. This is their Butter Gloss in the shade Praline. I was just about to film the outro and all the close-ups and all that stuff, but I feel like this lip is actually a little bit too dark for this particular look. So I'm going to take it off, and instead I'm going to use the I Heart Revolution lip gloss in Salted Caramel, which is a little bit lighter but still nice and nude. It's a bit more peachy as well, so I think it will complement the eye a bit more. And this is it. This is my summer heat-proof makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you did, feel free to do all the usual stuff down below. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to follow my new blog at redsmakeup.blog. I'll see you back here with another video next Sunday at 9 AM. Bye!